My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. What I have here is an interesting tent. My good buddy, a viewer, his name is Peanut. He sent this to me straight from Amazon. This way we could check it out together. So my friend, thank you so much for everything. I do appreciate it big time, and I'm sure the community does as well. This is the Underwood Aggregator trekking pole tent. That's a mouthful. As you can see here, the form factor is rather small, rather impressive. It's fairly lightweight, 2.5 pounds, and at the same time, it's also fairly inexpensive. This runs $55 on Amazon. So if you purchase this tent, this is what you receive. First off, you have the storage bag. It has a pull at the bottom, a draw pull at the top. Here's the tent itself. It has a Velcro compression strap around it. This is the tent. This is a single wall tent, and that means that the fly is integrated to the body. With this, you receive some tent stakes. Simple aluminum tent stakes, and you receive 12 of these. One thing to note is that these are quite heavy, so if you had this tent and you wanted to cut the weight, you could replace these. Additionally, the tent comes with some setup instructions and also a warranty card. As you can see here, the tent has been laid out. Now to set up this tent, you will have to use a trekking pole or a stick, and it has to be at least 46 inches long. Alright folks, the tent has been set up, and I used every single one of the tent stakes. Now when it comes to actually staking this out, it's an interesting process because there are literally 12 stakeout points. Up here at the foot box, there's 3 stakes. And this is interesting. You can see this right here, right? Underneath this, there is a pole, a small aluminum pole, and also there's a vent. Here on the side with the door, another stakeout point. There's a storm flap that goes over the zipper. It can be Velcroed into place. It's staked out down here. And then at the back of the tent, we have 3 guy lines and 2 more stakeout points. To be honest, this is a little bit of a mess as far as the guy lines go and staking this thing out. There's a lot going on here. With the door, it can be rolled back in 2 ways. You could do this top portion and the bottom portion. With the door zipped back, you can see the vestibule space. There is certainly enough space here for your shoes and your backpack. Something I want you all to pay attention to here are the loose threads. Wow, I'm not sure if I've ever seen this many on a tent before. There are threads everywhere. As far as the setup process goes for this tent, it's not all that difficult. It does take a little bit of time, but it's not terrible. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is that to get the right pitch is virtually impossible. So I've been able to set this up. I've been working to make adjustments. This features a very interesting design. And unfortunately, the design holds itself back. So as soon as you set up this tent, you hop inside, you will see the problem. The floor and the wall have been sewn together. Check that out. You have a little bit of mesh down there, and you have the mesh on this side, and that's it. I'm going to roll back the main panel to the door so you all can see what I'm talking about. To do this, I will have to redeploy this side panel. The tent will not stay erect with both panels rolled back. Let's take another look at this, folks. So again, the floor material is connected to the wall. And if you look on the outside here, you can see how that material is pulled out. This is very strange. And in fact, I haven't seen this before. The material comes down, then around, goes under, all the way to the other side. Because of this, the tent does not get a good pitch. And in fact, you cannot get a good pitch with this tent. That is the biggest complaint that I've personally seen about this tent, is that no matter what you do, you cannot get a top pitch. And it's because of the way that the materials have been sewn and also the guy line points. They're basically in the wrong place to pull this material away from you properly. Because the walls are connected to the floor and the way that they are, when you make adjustments to one stakeout point, it really does mess up another one. This side of the tent is a great example. You can see the stakeout point. You can see how the materials are being stretched. It's loose right here, it's tight up here. You can make adjustments to the other stakeout points, and it would greatly affect the entire tent and throw off the overall shape of this tent as well. Folks, this is strange. This is strange. Peanut, my friend, I really appreciate this. I love taking a look at strange products, and this is right up there, man. This is weird. This point right here alarms me, concerns me. This is the bottom vent, and during some rain events, heavy rain events, your feet will get wet, and there's no way to protect this area. With this flap, it cannot be secured. And that's because of this stakeout point. You have to have it. Otherwise, the entire front of the tent will collapse. Another point to make here in regards to unzipping this is that if you have this panel connected to the ground, opening this up is a real pain. The zipper begins at the top, and it has to be unzipped like so. So you're over here having to reach and bend down to unzip it. It's not a comfortable position to be in. Inside of the tent, I see some big problems here. First off, I'm not a big guy, but yet I take up the entire tent, or at least what I call the usable space. At this position in the tent, my feet are touching the wall down at the bottom, and my head is touching the wall here at the top, and I'm 5'4". I can kind of sit up. I'm more of at an angle like this. It's not 100% straight. When you're inside of your sleeping bag, the sleeping bag is going to come into contact with the walls, and so is your head, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now that we've taken a look at this tent, let's go over some stats real quick. Again, the price is $55. As far as colors go, this comes in green and yellow, or I should say that's what the company calls it. It's actually orange. I have no idea why they say it's yellow. Who knows? There are two versions. There's a one-person version and also a two-person version. The two-person version features a completely different design than this. As far as the materials go, this is a 210 polyester, which features a 5,000 millimeter hydrostatic head rating. The polyester has been PU coated. It features an aluminum short pole, SBS zippers. The weight is 2.5 pounds, and when it's stored, you're looking at 14 inches by 5.5 inches. As far as the dimensions of the tent itself, let's measure. One thing that I never do is take a company at their word as far as measurements go. The overall length of this is 87 inches, but those aren't 87 usable inches. As far as usable length goes, you're looking at about 67 inches, which is like 5 feet 7 inches. The height here at the bottom here is right at 9 inches. The height here at the top is 40 inches. Now I mentioned before that you need a trekking pole or a stick that's 46 inches long. We have those extra inches because the trekking pole or the stick is slanted. The tent is 47 inches wide, but those are not usable inches. Usable inches, you're looking at about 35 inches wide. Let's take a second here and let's talk about who Underwood Aggregator is. What a name, folks, what a name. I could just barely get that out. Anyways, this is a Chinese company. I had to do some digging online to figure that out. They make it sound like they're a company from the United States, but they are not. On their Amazon listing for this tent, it states that if you're considering a camping, hiking, or backpacking trip sometime soon, you'll want to ensure that you got a handle on the best outdoor brands. Underwood Aggregator, established by the College Students Mountaineering Association in 2010. I have no idea what that is. I did some searching. I found nothing. The Students Mountaineering Association, which was established in 2010, is a hands-on think tank of imaginative designers, material experts, and product developers who know what they want, how it will be used, and how to provide the best outdoor gear for campers and mountaineers. After looking at this tent, I have no idea what these people are thinking. These are not experts by any means. This is interesting, don't get me wrong. It is a trekking pole tent. I would say this is more of a bivvy than anything else. The shape of this, the fact that the materials are so close to you, this really does make it more of a bivvy. It's too small, too encompassing to be a tent, really. And consider this, everyone. The ultimate performance of the tent is going to be very similar to a bivvy. This tent is going to be a condensation machine. I am going to test this out. I am going to do a test night episode, and together we will see just how well or how badly this performs. To confirm, this is a non-freestanding tent. It has to be staked out to set up. It has one door, one vestibule, and the seams are taped. It can be set up in one of three ways: with a trekking pole, with a stick, and here at the top there is a loop. So if you had an overhead branch, you could connect the tent to that and stake it out from there. As far as the materials go, they're not too bad, actually. I've definitely seen worse. I've definitely seen cheaper. For $55, this is what you would expect. Overall, as I mentioned before, the setup of this is not extremely complicated. It just takes time. There's a ton of stakeout points and guidelines. Size-wise, super, super small. And I might as well say this. I think you should forget about this tent altogether. Do not buy this. Based upon my impressions so far, I would not recommend this to anyone. Even if it didn't leak, it is so small, the design is funky, and this is going to be a condensation machine, especially if you have to zip this up. A point to make here is that with this tent, there is a small card, and on the back side of it, it has a web address to this company. That web address does not work. That by itself does not bode well for this company or this product. So my friends, that wraps it up for this episode. Make sure to comment down below and share your thoughts. What do you all think about the Underwood Aggregator trekking pole tent? I have to stop and think about each word. Aggregator is so strange to be put in regards to a tent. I've never heard of that before. And again, that's the name of the company, Underwood Aggregator. This is the trekking pole tent. Have you ever seen a tent design like this? I have not. I've never seen the fly and the floor connected in such a way. This is more of a bivvy. I mean, it's more of a bag than a tent. It's very, very strange. And again, it just doesn't set up right. And those are the biggest complaints that I've seen online, is that the pitch, you can't get a top pitch no matter what you do, because like you stake it out so the floor is right, and then everything else, it just doesn't work. The guy line points are in the wrong places. And you can actually see that. You can see that by looking at it. The guy line points need to be higher up to pull that material away. But as is, they're actually down past the middle of that material. So it creates weird folds, weird pulls. It just does not work. Peanut, my friend, thank you so much for sending this in. This is bizarre, man. This is bizarre. You found something weird. You did. That's on you. All right, folks, I'm done for now. Hit the like button before you go. I do appreciate it. It does help the channel. You can support the Outdoor Gear Review on Patreon or on YouTube. You can join the Wolf Pack. If there's something that you want to send in for me to potentially review, feel free to. I can't make any promises, but feel free to send in anything that you want to. I'm done for now, folks. Take care, be well, strength and honor. God, I dread testing this out. I mean, this is going to be a condensation machine, a box, a bag.